In El Paso, Texas, along the border, the President of the United States will deliver a speech tomorrow calling on Congress to finally, in his view, pass comprehensive immigration reform. This is an issue George W. Bush has failed. President Obama has yet to submit a comprehensive proposal to the Congress. Many are saying this is not a policy discussion. This is about 2012 and the President's hope of getting more Latino votes. Let's look at some of this as you look this down. It is an explosion in terms of the population. In 1980, just shy of 15 million Latinos in the United States. You look at the growth up here, 2010, more than 50 million Latinos. Obviously an important part of the population, an important part of the voting populace as well. Now, where are they in America when it comes to voting? Watch this as we pull across. The darker the state, the higher the Latino population. Texas and Arizona, for example, more than 25%. The darker the state, the higher the population. Your state might be there. You might know if it's a presidential battleground or not. One more quick thing to look at, that is Latino turnout. The top and the bottom line, midterm elections. 2006, about 77 million white Americans, dropped to 74 in 2010. The white population in midterm elections declining. Latino population, 5.6 million, increased by 1 million from 2006 to 2010. The green is presidential politics. We expect the presidential number to cross more than 10 million Latinos in 2012. Now, the president can't do anything policy-wise on comprehensive immigration reform without support in Congress, where the issue has been, well, political quicksand. Let's look for some solid and, if possible, common ground with California Republican Congressman Bilbray and Illinois Democrat Luis Gutierrez. Congressman Gutierrez, let me start with you as the Democrat who has criticized this president from your home state, saying, Mr. President, do more. Has he assured you that what he will outline in El Paso tomorrow is what you want?
It's my expectation that tomorrow he will reiterate his policy of enforcement and border security. He will call again upon the Republican Party to come and make a serious effort to solve our broken immigration system, and at the same time tell us how it is he's going to use the administrative powers that he has, the discretionary powers that he has, to help certain groups of immigrants, American citizen families that are integrated into our immigrant community, and how he can use those powers to alleviate our broken immigration system.
Congressman Bilbray, weigh in. Let's start on the last part there. If the president starts to use his executive authority to help people who are being sent home while they have family members are here, you have a problem with that?
Look, we got a problem with anybody that wants to announce that we're going to reward people for being illegally in this country, and we want to get off of this amnesty kick and get over to where we really got a common ground, and that's issues like the president has expanded E-Verify. He should make it a mandatory for businesses to E-Verify if they want a business deduction. That's a common ground we could all agree on, is that we should eliminate the tax deduction for employers who hire illegals. That's one place we can gain some credibility with the American people. And I think that's the one place Washington misses the bet. And the president's going to lose this opportunity if he doesn't understand that creating a feeling of credibility, actually proving to the American people we can be trusted, is the first step that we have to do before we start asking them to trust us to do a whole lot of other issues, especially when you're talking about creating special status and protection for those who are illegally in the country.
Let me stay with Congressman Bilbray for a minute. Congressman Gutierrez, patience, please. In the sense, sir, that I understand your point, Congressman Bilbray, and you've been fairly consistent on those points. There are some Republicans, Senator McCain, for example, who say, I will talk to you about, granting legal status for those who are here illegally, Mr. President, but only after you prove yourself on border security. I want to ask you, Congressman Bilbray, to grade the president, because many in the administration ask, what more do they have to do? The number of Border Patrol today is more than double the size it was in 2004. They've doubled the personnel assigned to border enforcement security task forces. A quarter of the ICE personnel are now in the region. That's the most ever. Congressman Gutierrez has been highly critical of this Democratic president for the rate of deportations and kicking people out of the United States. Has the president improved border security since he took office?
No, because the border, look, I've grown up on the border. I've rescued illegals when they were drowning and recovered their bodies. I've seen them slaughtered on our highways. The president's got to understand the border is a symptom of the problem. Not until he requires every employer to E-Verify to make sure that no American is encouraging illegal immigration by hiring illegals. Not until the federal government
I get your point. I get your point there, but on the numbers and the enforcement, the security, the police presence, the National Guard, is he doing a better job than George W. Bush?
No, I think he is continuing the job that George Bush did, and that is let's play the game at the border, but let's not talk about the real source of the problem, and that's illegal employers. If we all, Democrats, Republicans, focused on the source, the illegal employers, that's the one place that we should be able to all agree on, that we shouldn't allow anybody to make a buck and be able to exploit the illegals by hiring them. And once we eliminate that, we won't have to be sending our resources to the border, because there won't be people wanting to come here illegally, because there'll be no jobs for them when they get here. So let's focus on the employers. If Democrats and Republicans can't do that, we don't have the right to ask the American people to trust us with any other program.
Congressman Gutierrez, I want to give you a chance to come in. And as you do so, sir, when you listen to that, do you see any possibility the Republicans will control the House, at least through the 2012 presidential election? Is there any chance that a bill that meets the other things the president wants to do, the things you want to do, any chance of it coming to the floor of the House between now and that presidential election in 2012? And if the answer is no, why go through this at all?
Well, sadly, I believe that there really isn't an opportunity legislatively to bring relief and to fix our broken immigration system. We just heard Mr. Bilbray, who very eloquently and passionately says this is what we've got to work on, and this alone. They never look at it from a comprehensive point of view where we can fix all of the different elements that really impact our immigration system.
Congressman Gutierrez, how about, you say they won't take comprehensive. President Bush went through this when you had a Republican president. He couldn't get the Congress to take comprehensive. What's wrong with incremental immigration reform where, let me play devil's advocate again, and let's say, Congressman Gutierrez, the president said, here's your E-Verify expansion. Now, you need to give me credit for what I've done at the border. Now I want you to support me on this deportation. I want you to support me at the DREAM Act. Why not go one step at a time?
John, I'm going to tell you why, because it doesn't work, because there's never balance. John, you know as well as I do that just last September we approved $600 million more for the border. We spent 1,200 additional National Guardsmen. We do have E-Verify for every corporation that has a federal bank contract, and that's not an edict of the Congress. That was done because the president wished it so. We're sending no-match letters to millions of employers saying the Social Security doesn't match the name. We are doing a lot. We have secure communities. I just want you to understand, the fingerprints of everyone arrested was in 12 different municipalities when George Bush left. It's over 1,100. This president has done a lot in terms of enforcement. And what do we get from the other side? Absolutely nothing, because they want to use the issue to exploit it politically.
Congressman Bilbray, hang on one second. If the president were to say to you, okay, I don't want to do this, but I'm going to give you an expanded E-Verify, but you've got to give me something. To Congressman Gutierrez's point, where are you willing to compromise if the president compromised?
I would be willing to sit down and talk to him about where we go the next stage. You got to remember, though, the American people have already seen an amnesty before and a promise of enforcement. We have to show them that we're willing to get tough on our...
I am ready, John, to sit down with my friend from San Diego and sit down and tell him, you can have your E-Verify for everyone. How do we get you at the table so that we can move forward? I think not. The problem here is they want enforcement, and John, we give them plenty. I listed
you don't want enforcement to the employers?
Measures that we take, and they will not sit down at the table, even for dream kids, young men and women who arrived here at this country at a young age. We can't get them to do that, and we are deporting 400,000 people a year. If we did a million, it wouldn't be enough because they don't want to settle the problem.
Let me let Congressman Bilbray respond.
The American people have heard these promises before, that if you allow us to do this for this population, we promise get tough on the real problem, the employers. We promise we'll get around to it. No, the American people know better than that. They say, we want to see you do the heavy lifting.
Let's do it.
Crack down on...
Let's do it.
Crack down on the employers. And that's what I'm saying to you. Let's do it. Let's prove the American people, and then after that, we can sit and talk about that.
Tell me what you're ready to do.
Gentlemen, I'm going to
join with Heath and I requiring that every business that wants to deduct the cost of hiring somebody must E-Verify.
We're obviously not going to solve the problem tonight. The president is reviving this debate, and as you can all see right here, it's a feisty debate. Gentlemen, we'll have you back. We'll continue this conversation in the weeks ahead to see if we can get from speeches to policy conversation. Congressman Gutierrez, Congressman Bilbray, thank you so much, gentlemen.
Thank you, John.
In a moment.